Hundreds of thousands of dollars for a state art project misused and misspent. The people responsible use words like misunderstanding and mistake to explain it. But some lawmakers who gave them that money are using words like criminal and jail. Was there deliberate deception? Here's News 13 investigative reporter Larry Barker.
I can't believe that money was turned over like that. It can't be.
These transactions were not by the book, were they?
Not by our book.
There's a right way and there's a wrong way to spend taxpayer money. This project was the wrong way.
It's a government scandal involving a ton of public money and an artistic masterpiece. The project is hidden away inside the Torreon, a towering fortress on the grounds of the National Hispanic Cultural Center. This 4,000 square foot fresco mural chronicles centuries of Hispanic history and culture. Santa Fe artist Federico Vigil spent nearly a decade creating this masterpiece. The fresco painting is not controversial, but the money behind it is. Our investigation found hundreds of thousands in state tax dollars earmarked for this work of art was improperly diverted and misspent. At the heart of the wrongdoing is a former high-ranking state official and a private foundation. Legislators funded the project with appropriations totaling $812,000. Because the fresco is part of a state museum, the Department of Cultural Affairs was responsible for the money, and it's here that trouble began. Secretary Rick May runs the Department of Finance.
This could be the test case of how government is not supposed to work.
Instead of accounting for the money, former Cabinet Secretary Stuart Ashman simply gave it away. A private organization, the Hispanic Cultural Center Foundation, ended up with the entire $812,000 state appropriation.
Are there any records in the Department of Cultural Affairs showing that the money was properly expended?
No, there aren't.
Today, Secretary Veronica Gonzalez heads the Cultural Affairs Department.
Was that transfer of the $800,000 consistent with state law?
No, absolutely not. This money should have been safeguarded through the Department of Cultural Affairs oversight and accountability.
This transaction, Larry, was not by the book in any way, shape, or form. It was completely the wrong way to use taxpayers' money.
The foundation is the private fundraising arm of the state-run Hispanic Cultural Center. Once it got its hands on the $800,000 pot of money, the foundation went on a freewheeling, unauthorized spending spree. Former First Lady Clara Apodaca is the foundation's president. Ms. Apodaca insisted on being interviewed in the Torreon.
In your opinion, has the money been properly expended?
Yes, I believe it has.
However, nobody in state government seemed to notice. The foundation was quietly siphoning off the fresco money and pouring thousands of state dollars into the private foundation's own coffers. For example, the foundation helped itself to $162,000 and called it administrative fees.
What did that money go for?
Well, it went for the expenses that we had on the for the fresco.
Like what?
Well, we had, you know, we did a lot of lobbying, we did a lot of traveling, but, you know, I'm not sure it was all used for that because we actually also paid for a lot of programs.
That money isn't for the foundation for its programs. That money was a capital appropriation for the fresco.
Well, and we thought under the contract we could use that.
$162,500 for fees. Is that a proper expenditure of a capital appropriation?
Absolutely not.
The foundation claimed half of the appropriation, $432,000, was used to compensate the artist. But that was a deception. Our investigation finds Federico Vigil only got $200,000 from the state funds. The other $200,000 had already been paid to the artist, well before the legislature even appropriated the money. Instead of spending the state funds on the fresco project, the foundation simply pocketed some $200,000 in taxpayer money. And then there's the $9,000 the foundation claimed it paid for this DVD produced for the fresco's grand opening, and another $70,000 the foundation shelled out for a 1-hour documentary.
Where is that documentary today?
We haven't finished it. We have a script, and then we have a lot of tapes, but that has not been completed.
Today there is no 1-hour documentary.
No, there isn't.
The $800,000 appropriation was earmarked for this painting, not DVDs, documentaries, bogus compensation, or fees. Add it all up, and the foundation's financial misdeeds equals almost $500,000. Now, Stuart Ashman had no authority to transfer the funds outside state government. He did it anyway. Clara Apodaca claims the arrangement was legitimate.
We had a signed contract, and that signed contract spelled it out what we could spend it on. So that's what we did.
However, our investigation found the so-called contract was a sham. The 2-page undated document appears to have been written before the legislature even authorized the appropriation.
Your understanding is that a legal document that provides safeguards to taxpayers?
Absolutely not, no.
Last year, questions were raised about the foundation's use of state money. Cultural Affairs launched a review. And except for a few discrepancies, the state agency said the foundation was in compliance with all laws and regulations. Was that review shoddy, or was it a cover-up? We don't know.
They were following directives, but they made mistakes also. And they have to be held accountable for that.
Once they went down that path of giving the money directly to the foundation, then we lost all financial control. We lost all of the ability to ensure that the taxpayer money was being spent properly. The one person that had the responsibility to ensure that taxpayers' money was spent wisely in this case was the previous cabinet secretary for the Department of Cultural Affairs.
Stuart Ashman?
Larry, you said the name, I didn't, but the record is pretty clear.
Reached by phone, former Cultural Affairs Secretary Stuart Ashman said everything he did was proper. Beyond that, Ashman said he had no comment.
Senator, if it turns out that some of that money actually was diverted to other uses or was misspent,
Well,
what do you do about it, Senator?
Somebody needs to be tried and go to jail. I mean, that's not right.
We appropriated the money to the Department of Cultural Affairs. They spent that money, and there are no receipts for it. To me, it borders on criminal.
Independent auditors are now investigating the fresco fiasco.
Any funds that the state identifies as being inappropriate,
Right.
will the foundation return every penny?
Absolutely. But we'll have to raise it.
You don't have the money.
No.
Well, the governor's directions to both Secretary Gonzalez and myself were very, very simple. Get to the bottom of this. If taxpayers' money was improperly spent, get it back, and don't let it happen on our watch.
Larry Barker, KRQE News 13.
So far, the foundation has returned $138,000 to the state. Stay tuned.